Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are finishing up the long journey that we have been on. Take a walk through the yard here real quick, but we are hitting the final empty or end game finishing load. So that'll be kind of nice. Back on the big money load. Been running oil and out here running wood. And steel pipe is what we've been doing. In between loads, we have now noticed everything is over here is maxed out. So we went ahead and brought Montezuma out here, which is generally used for cordwood, but did throw it out here to move the oil. I don't anticipate having too many problems. I mean, it got it up here and it's downhill on the way to the depot. So as you can see, everything is full, which this will be finally nice to deliver a load that's worth a decent amount of money. As you can see, we do not have a lot of money. This will kind of start taking care of that. So looking forward to it. I suppose we should be making sure everything drops. We did turn around to get this really close. As you can see, the oil barrels do not take much to roll onto the ground. So if you haven't gotten here yet, those of you who have, I'm sure already know, this drop-off dock is pretty picky. Pretty easy to get too close to it and actually hit the cars onto the dock, and definitely can't be too far away or they just roll right on the ground, even though they couldn't fit if they tried. This we did just go simple. This did run out pretty long, just in case in the long run we want to store a car or a train out here or something. We can throw one back here as long as it's not all obnoxious, but the just the drop-offs alone for all the rest of the things make it so it's not so bad to store trains out here, So no extra sidings this time, no extra switches. I'm trying to still have been keeping everything down for performance reasons, which I mean is doing okay. So for now we haven't added much. Not exactly sure what the plan will be now after this one is done. Definitely haven't filled out the industries or anything like that. Still haven't managed to do that on either save file. So we'll have to see what comes of running some extra loads on here first. Let's see how we're going. 39, that's 40. Don't want to be dropping these things on the ground. They're just worth too much. Alright, that's 46 there. Oh yeah, here. 43, 44, 45, and 46. Get that up, double check, make sure everything's full. Not sure you can see it. The frame rate, I did put a frame rate counter up in the upper left hand corner up there. I'm not sure if that actually comes through on the recordings or not, but I do have it locked at 60, so it's not going to go above that, but it has not been coming down from that either. We did get an update this week. Did not really go over the patch notes in a video or anything. Nothing too flashy in there. I guess some of the highlights I took away from it was mainly bug and performance. Update said that we should all get increased frame rates, or should be performance frame rate increase. That's kind of why the frame rate counter is up there. I'm just kind of seeing where it goes, and I have noticed that I used to get dips every now and then into the 30s, into the 40s, and I haven't seen that. Haven't seen it really go below 57, 58. So it's I don't know. I don't know if that's a big increase or not. I find just locking it at 60 for me is kind of the way to go. and it seems to stay there. It does seem more steady now, honestly, than it was before. Like I said, I don't see the dips as much, and I know that that's not the case for everybody. It's a different case scenario for people, but it is up there. Hopefully that kicks through to the video too, and it's actually seeable when it gets kicked through. See, like there's it hit 58, 57, and you're loading 2 barrels, so at a time. I've noticed really that switches don't seem to affect the FPS much. It just seems you definitely get a graphics bounce in there. I'm not saying you don't, but I haven't really noticed much change in the frame rate. So personally, I can't complain about performance lately. Game's been running pretty good. We had 11 people in this weekend. Stuff was holding up. I do know that that varies across save files and across, people playing. So, you know, I can't say that that fixes everybody's frame rate, and I'm not claiming to. So, but hopefully you see a little increase in performance. Many people have. Unfortunately, some still have not. So, but for those wondering, on my end, it's been pretty good. So, back to running the oil barrels. But yeah, not a lot in the patch notes update this week, I guess. Just kind of bug and performance. And some of those bugs we all know, some of us get, some of us don't get. So, there you go. $44, $45, $46. That fills it. That filled it. We should fill it, right? Yeah. Whoa. Alright. There we go. And we have a measly 28 left, so that's cool. But there we go. Full load of oil, as you can see, loaded up and ready to go. Does look good. Gotta give it that. Monty looks a little, or Montezuma, the new Walter. Walter looks a little small out here, but I think it'll handle the load just fine. It's been running cordwood just fine. I can't imagine this is not one of the more difficult loads to run. So, looks like we will need to throw some wood in so that we don't run out. Should be enough. Alright. This shouldn't be going on. And rolling out. Montezuma definitely has some of the wildest cylinder cocks in the game for the size of the locomotive. It's pretty crazy, actually, but fun to play around with anyway. Definitely don't need to pick up too much speed in here. This is not the neighborhood to go ripping around. Try to limit the speed in the yard areas on this setup. Definitely need to get rid of some more of these trees. They are not helping things. Oh, they're a dip to 40 something coming out of the yard. I did see a 40s. So you do see some dips yet. It's definitely not locked steady. I did see like 47 or something there. I'm not sure. I'll have to check it back. But as we go across the switches here, they're, 56 back to 60, 57 back to 60. So in that neighborhood, you do definitely see the bounce. See, there's the bounce I mean, it's a graphics balance, but it doesn't necessarily you know, it's not in coordination or anything with a big frame rate dip. So I don't know. At least not for me, which is all I guess I can speak to. So, but I don't know. Have seen some pickup in performance. I'm not gonna say everything's been perfect. Haven't run multiplayer since the update yet. Well, yeah, we did. Take that back. Ran multiplayer yesterday. Some didn't have any problems actually that I noticed. But then we were just kind of doing some silly stuff too. We weren't running, big loads or anything. Get a good look at the train heading off into the distance there. I don't know if it's even got enough oomph to get around. It should. Everything's flat out here, but the Walt there does take turns, with effort. I'll say that. Nice look at the refinery. Still do like the whoosh that comes out of the fire stacks. That's always been fun. Oop. And there we are. Next to the money. This is the load that you want to run. Do a lot of effort to get here, right? This is the one that pays off. Alright, we can end the yard speed now. It's not that we need to get going too crazy. There it's down to 45, I just saw. 45, 50. Back to 60. Alright. Steady rolling. Boom. Onto the gigantic spline. As you can see, this now kind of acts weird. Look at how it turns with it, with the new update. It locomotive, and not this one in particular, because this is the first one down here, but I noticed the oil cars were doing this, where just everything moves really weird, because this is that super long spline that I auto-clicked in, and so it just makes everything dance really weird. But haven't had any problems with it, running the Cook Mogul or the Glenbrook anyway, so I don't anticipate having any problems, but it does definitely act weird. I'll say that. We have come in and started cutting back some trees around the track. Still haven't gotten tons of them because honestly I'm just cutting them down riding on the train. So, when you're running along at 100% speed, sometimes you can get them, sometimes you can't get them. So they're widening out in places, but as we go, we'll get them all cut down. Eventually we'll widen it out. And in some places we're, not touching it, just for pure looks, like this part coming out. I don't think I'm cutting any of these down, just so that it looks cool. Don't know that any more are getting cut back through the valley in here. Probably going to keep that now looking the way that it does, and just keep cruising. I mean, that's all part of it now, is just really looks, aesthetics of the whole thing, and going through it, making things start looking the way we want them to is kind of the idea with the railroad. And then filling up all the industries, which we'll be going for shortly. That will be the next main goals for this one, and then we'll see where we go from there. There's a few sections that I want to fix and work bugs out of for sure. It's definitely not perfect, but it does function, so I don't know. I definitely won't be massive changes or anything, as this is the save file that we've had the most luck with playing multiplayer and stuff, so it definitely won't be altering too much. But now we'll start saving separate, so that we see if and when performance drops out. There you can see it down to 53 as we're running through switches. And by the factories, I've noticed by the factories, I mean, here's a 48. So it looks like, you know, in and around factories, switches, areas like that, you definitely can lose frame rates still. I've noticed around the, like I was just saying, the factories seem to be the worst places, and especially with switches in and around there, but, you know, don't ask me why, I have no idea. It's not really for me to assume. Just what I've kind of noticed, those are the places it was the lowest, so. Still not flawlessly perfect, but at least it's showing a little better performance numbers for me anyway. And they're just locked back out at 60. Generally pretty much stays at 60 as we're on the runs down the rail is what I've noticed, so. But Montezuma, or named Walter, our number 4. Just chilling. Nice cruise speed. Still don't know that much has changed with the speeds. I think he's been still working on performance before we get too much of that increase, but you definitely know there's slow ones, like the Shea. That thing is definitely slower than everything else, so Montezuma at least gets to cruising down the rail. Definitely not a heavy puller, but it does decent on flat ground for things. And as long as you, excuse me, as long as you don't go too heavy, you know, it seems to do okay. But then I say too heavy when, you know, really, if it's pulling empty cars uphill, it'll survive for a bit, but not long. I'll say that. It is nice because you get the decent range out of it with the tender. So, you know, you can do loads like this that are light, little, or, you know, not super light, but not heavy anyway, and downhill loaded, so it doesn't really matter, you know. And then you're just pulling around cordwood. So that's kind of, or cordwood cars, which you use obviously for cordwood, and that's kind of what the that's what this train is just going to do. It's going to make loads between cordwood and oil. You don't use oil a lot, so I don't know that I have no desire really to do a separate locomotive for out there, so it is just going to stick to this one. But I think this one will do the job. Let them know we are headed into the station. See, the cylinder cocks are insane on this train. Like, it blows steam farther out than anything else. And part of that, I think, is just its size, because it's so much smaller compared to the steam. But it does kind of look impressive when it really starts to steam it off. Rolling up to the dock. Go, go, go. You weren't supposed to go that slow. Alright, kill that. Kill those. They're just hissing. Ooh, go look inside the depot. It's completely empty. It's a good thing we're bringing some oil. Because the depot is done dry. Alright, and we will get on the brakes right there. And hopping out. Now, let's see what we get paid. 4,500. Yeah, I don't know how much they are. I think they're 40 a piece or something. Whatever. There they go. Boom, boom, boom. Raining barrels. That's where the cash is at. That's what I know. As you can watch the money pile up, this is how, obviously, the best payoff in railroads online, that is for sure. You put in a lot of work to get them, so it isn't necessarily the easiest or most efficient way to make some money, but it definitely pays off when you do drop it. As you can see, there we are, over 10,000 with now plenty of cash to buy whatever we could possibly need in the game, that's for sure. So there you are, and your experience level jumps right up there along with it, so up to almost $12,000 now. Getting paid, and Montezuma's doing it. The only locomotive that definitely paid for itself in one trip right there. So, first time with oil barrels, I think we'll call that one a win. Say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.